In this video, you will discover how to make money by betting on tennis. I will reveal to you the only profitable long-term method. As an introduction, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Aurélien Rieu, a math and physical sciences teacher in a vocational high school and a certified tennis instructor. You will observe that it is crucial in the approach that I will demonstrate to you at a later time. I entered the realm of sports gambling in 2012 and I established the YouTube channel to assist you in earning money by placing bets on the tellis. Furthermore, to ensure you receive my upcoming video tips, don't forget to subscribe to the channel by clicking the button in the bottom right corner of this video. I would like to start by presenting you the program of this training. So why do I say training? Because it is going to be a 1-hour video, I will make an effort to ensure it fits within that duration. Nonetheless, I will also try to include the countdown of each part in the description, so please do not blame me because my professional deformation as a teacher compels me to strive for clear explanations using the best pedagogy for you. Therefore, we will initially see the beginnings, and when I discuss my beginnings, you will have the opportunity to witness. Thus, it was quite catastrophic despite my supposed expertise in the field of tennis and statistics, particularly since I am a math teacher after all. Well, it was truly catastrophic. Furthermore, we will specifically examine the mistakes that must absolutely be avoided, mistakes that I made. Then, let's proceed. I am going to inform you about the desert crossing I experienced for an extended period, as I had a desire to undergo training. We'll encounter many false solutions to be avoided. Next, I'll delve into the heart, the core of this training, focusing on the key concept of a skilled bettor and the strategies that lead to success. You will see, you will be surprised. Finally, in the fourth part, we are going to delve into the theory regarding the method. So be cautious. Theory, once more, I do not want to be the instructor. I am simply going to provide you with all the crucial concepts that you need to comprehend thoroughly. Indeed, you may want to accelerate the video, navigate to the conclusion, observe the technique. If you do not follow the logical and didactic program of this training, you will have difficulty understanding the essence of this method in the end. Therefore, the theory part 4 is important. I can assure you that it will be a simple and fun experience. During the training, I will present you with the key concepts. Additionally, I want to emphasize that this training is not just talk. There will be practical exercises. Through these exercises, you will have the opportunity to see the essential website that you absolutely must have. Furthermore, I will demonstrate live analysis of a sports bet, allowing you to witness the practical application of this method. Make sure to stay until the end of this video because I have a special bonus gift for you. This gift is a token of my appreciation for your support on my YouTube channel and for watching the video until the end. As a preamble, I have an important announcement to make. In this training, I will present the condensed version of everything I have learned, everything I have applied, what works and what doesn't work from my last 6 years of experience. In no instance is it a miraculous method. On the contrary, you will observe that it necessitates time, it demands investment, it also calls for some expertise. But I assure you that you will acquire knowledge from this video on how you too can earn money by placing bets on tennis matches. Initially, for me, it was genuinely a cold shower. I am going to provide you with a brief explanation of the context, and you will understand it completely. Based on my memory, I had a strong desire to place my very first bet on a tournament in Australia at the very beginning of the year. It was supposed to be Auckland or Brisbane, I don't remember exactly. My idea was to say that I'm going to start a new season. So in January, the first tournaments, these are the preparatory tournaments before the Australian Open, and to be able to see the progress over a year and fully follow a year. I chose to wager solely on the victor of one of the matches, thus Feliciano Lopez. It left a strong impression on me, and you will comprehend the reason behind it. I am unable to recall the precise coast. Would you kindly furnish me with the context in which this matter was discussed? It was the opening round, signifying the start of the tournament. It also marked the restart of the season, being the initial tournament of the year. At that particular moment, I had no knowledge of the opponent of Feliciano Lopez. The sole information I possessed was about Feliciano Lopez, a left-handed player known for his penchant for attacking with his sliced backhand. In my debut bet, I make the decision to place a €50 wager in the opening round of betting. I am confident, thus it is the first tournament of the year, in the first round. And what is happening at this particular moment in time? Ultimately, I make every possible and imaginable mistake. I am currently watching the live bet, witnessing the loser, Feliciano Lopez, as he is currently losing in the game. He is losing, he finds himself in the third set, and he is trailing, I believe, about 4-1. And there, well, I'm freaking out. I have cold sweats down my back, and what I do is that I decide to bet 400 euros live on his opponent's victory, meaning that the odds had been adjusted. I calculate, I tell myself, well, your bet is lost. He is trailing 4-1 in the third set. He is in deep trouble. I found him tired, well, more or less annoyed because he had won the first set and then lost the second set. So in terms of confidence, the other one had the upper hand. And so I quickly calculate the odds. I take my calculator and then I try to see how much I should bet to recover from the loss of this losing bet. In my opinion, it's inevitable. And so I bet 400 euros. I'm watching the match, and then what happens? I'll give you 1,000 guesses. Of course, you understood it. Feliciano Lopez comes back. He ends up winning the match in the tie break of the third set. And in the story, I lose 400 euros. So obviously, I win the bet I had made, maybe at odds of 1.3 or 1.4. So I win 20 euros on this bet, but I lose 400 euros on the bet where I had bet on his opponent. And there, in fact, it's a real shock for me, since I realized that there must be a bug. I made all possible mistakes, so a bet that I didn't analyze at all. I just did, based on my prior knowledge of the tennis world, where I used to watch a lot at the time. I ate, drank, slept tennis. Feliciano Lopez was going to win. I didn't know his opponent, so it was obvious he would win the match. He was additionally seeded in that specific tournament, a probability that was 1.3, 1.4, which was reassuring given the opinion of the bookmakers who determined the odds. The initial bet placed was 1,050 euros, an amount that was considered excessively high for the given situation. The first tournament of the year, so there is no hindsight compared to the winter break, especially since it should be noted that the television season ends with the Masters tournament. So there you have it. Mid-November, end of November, and then there is the long break. First round, so we don't know how the player is adapting. In summary, I commit every conceivable error, and in addition to that, I observe the game in real time. Inevitably, I am experiencing pressure and I engage in any action. However, it ultimately turned out to be a positive outcome because with only one bet like that, it enabled me to save years of aimless wandering and mistakes, thus avoiding financial losses. Since I thought electroshock, there must be an issue because you're supposed to be relatively intelligent or at least have common sense, and you spend 400 euros like that, there must be a problem. And so, it accompanied me during what I refer to as the desert crossing. Why? From the desert. Why? Because I thought about it. I told myself you need to educate yourself. You absolutely need to train because right now you've done anything. Knowing tennis is not enough. You really need to immerse yourself in the world of sports betting. And there I began. When I say crossing the desert, it is because it lasted for a long time. It lasted for about 3 years. And so I did a little bit, the sponge syndrome, which means that I tried to absorb everything I could find on the internet in books, videos, trainings, and tipster follow-ups. Furthermore, the books, I hadn't intended on displaying them to you. Do not move. I am back to show you the books. I have purchased a book titled Winning at Sports Betting, and I would like to share it with you. I made the purchase of this specific item, the essential and must-have choice for successful sports betting. I purchased this one, which was not bad, by the way. Sports Betting Hervé Dalassene's Approach to Achieving Success. I even purchased this one. Therefore, he was truly a significant joke. I genuinely believed it was a technique from a man who played and purportedly won in football, and I thought I could gain inspiration from it. In summary, it is clear that I am starting to read and immersing myself. I watch videos on YouTube, follow different channels, and explore various blogs to enhance my knowledge. I am also a participant in a forum. Furthermore, I am a subscriber to a subscription for a private club, the name of which I will refrain from disclosing. I am currently taking courses, so I haven't taken a large number of online courses. 2 courses in particular focus on bankroll management and the risk-taking involved in bets. And in fact, at some point I am enticed by the subsequent recommendations of the informants, so I even begin visiting English-American websites, despite not being very proficient in English, but at least I comprehend it well, although I don't speak it fluently, but I understand it well regardless. It's lengthy, it's laborious, and then gradually I start to uncover the only lucrative approach to become a skilled bettor. So don't worry, that's what we're going to explore today in this training. Exactly. Prior to disclosing this technique to you, I desired for us to reach a consensus on the definition of a skilled bettor. So there I presented you with two options. It's a short quiz. It won't require much time from us. So there are two possibilities. Is a good bettor for you the one who is capable of determining the probabilities of winning for each individual player? I didn't say it, but it's true that I assumed it. Here I am on the tennis matches. So there are two possible outcomes. Simply the winner, either player A or player B. I do not discuss combined bets, live bets, handicap bets, and other types of bets. I am truly focused on the simplest bet that is possible to make. For you, an adept bettor on this bet, is it the person who determines win probabilities for each player? Is he capable of performing that particular action or task successfully? The individual who exclusively engages in betting with high confidence ratings. Therefore, for these ratings, it is necessary to conduct analysis, place bets, and assign a confidence rating ranging from 1 to 3, 1 to 5, or 1 to 10. Based on this rating, adjustments to the bets will be made. Now I will provide you with a brief pause in the video and we will reconvene shortly. And well, if you have done the quiz, I don't know what you answered, but the answer in any case is neither one nor the other. And to give you my answer, it's all about strawberries, so don't leave the video. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I'll explain to you right away what it's exactly about the last time. So I was at the campsite with my wife and daughter, and then we went to the market, and at the market, while I'm filming this video, it's currently the season for strawberries. There was something that really shocked me. There were strawberries from Spain, so at 180 EU per kilogram, and there were strawberries from France. It was marked with the origin from the area, which were priced at 12 euro per kilogram. Actually, the key is there. Why am I talking about strawberries? This example will speak to you. When you buy a 1 kilo or 500 green tray from Spain for 180, what actions do you take in response to your purchase? What do you invest in? You invest in the price. That is to say, you are looking for a minimum price. Regardless of whether the strawberries are good or not to your taste, you will not be disappointed because you will have had strawberries at a low price. If you decide to invest in 2 trays of 500 grams at 12 euros per kilo, that you bet on French strawberries, whether they are good or not good, you are not in the strawberries, but in any case, you are betting on quality. Why am I discussing this with you in relation to sports betting? The reason is simply because a knowledgeable bettor knows how to select bets with the best quality price ratio, which is crucial for success in this field of gambling. So it is something that is of great importance to be aware of. We will make the assumption that you are a skilled bettor, so someone who possesses the knowledge to carefully pick bets with the highest quality price ratio available in order to maximize potential winnings. You hand him a match and ask him to establish the probabilities of victory and gain between player A and player B by using the match as a reference point. As an illustration, let's consider the match between Federer and Murray as an example of a highly anticipated and competitive tennis matchup. If you follow tennis, you see at least the two players I'm talking about. In relation to this, he will be able, if he is a good defender, to provide you with the probabilities for his victory. However, in no situation will it guarantee you to follow his bet and win. That is not at all the strength he possesses. The strength he has is that out of all the options, throughout the year, out of all the number of bets there are, he will be able to select the most interesting bets. Fascinating both in terms of quality and in terms of price. So do not panic, I am going to provide you with a very straightforward example so that you can comprehend. Take Federer, who is playing against an outsider. So it's funny because you'll see later live, I'm going to watch a Federer match, but who competes versus 600th in ATP EG from qualifiers. And Federer has a odds of 1.01 for his victory, so it's not rare to see him. We will see it later. It's a bet that will be of quality. That is to say that it's like if you buy strawberries at 12 euros per kilo, telling yourself they will be good, these strawberries, because if I pay this price at 12 euros per kilo compared to 1.80 euros, so this bet Federer wins at 1.01, almost 99%, and some sure to win this bet. So you say it is of quality, but on the other hand, it is really too expensive. That is to say that the bookmakers, they have done their study and they have displayed their odds at 1.01, and as a result, it is not profitable for you at all. And this is something that needs to be really understood. So here we are, we can say, on the duality between the quality of the bet and the price, its cost. So, if you follow my logic of demonstration, a good bettor must be able to determine the probabilities to have the best quality, simply because if I give you 10 bets to analyze, you will be able to tell me each time who the winners are and tell me that one player has a 70% chance of winning, the other has a 55% chance of winning, etc. The other has a 55% chance, etc. The one with the highest probability, the best quality, will have the highest rates. That is logical. And then you must be able to compare with the bookmaker to obtain the best price agreed upon. That is super important. That is what will make your bet profitable or not. In a few moments I will mathematically demonstrate why, and that is truly what will make you a skilled and successful bettor in the world of gambling. So now we're going to proceed to the theoretical part, so don't worry, I'm going to do it in the most pedagogical way possible. I'm accustomed to teaching in vocational high schools to students who not only are not interested in mathematics, but also are not very proficient in it, let's say. So, without any judgment, I don't want to challenge you with any mathematical obstacles and simply, I want to clarify this notion of probability a little. Understanding it is crucial. We'll use the example of the room. The coin, the most well-known example, simply the heads, the tails. If I ask you the probability of getting heads or tails, you'll spontaneously answer, it's something you have internalized, so 50%. There is a 50% probability of winning when betting on either heads or tails. It is important to note that there is a significant nuance in sports betting, which I will illustrate using an Excel file. In this particular scenario, the process is incredibly simple. I input a random Excel formula between 0 and 1, instructing it to generate a random output within the same range. The purpose of this is to explore the concept of chance. Subsequently, I associate the value 0 with heads. It is worth mentioning that the number of heads is 0, while the number of tails is 1. However, this distinction is not of great significance. Moving forward, I proceed to simulate the tossing of 200 coins. As we can observe, we repeat this simulation 10 times, resulting in a total of 2,000 coin tosses. Within each iteration, I utilize a cell to calculate the number of heads. The result of the first simulation indicates that there were 105 heads. This entire process is then repeated, generating a series of outcomes. What will happen next? Like numbers, often it's not representative enough, we put the graph in front of our eyes. Observations, frequency fluctuation. Calculated frequency for first simulation, 106 heads out of 200, resulting in a frequency of 53% during the initial simulation. And here we can see that there is a frequency fluctuation, meaning that compared to our theoretical frequency of 50%, we actually have a deviation. I simulated it on a sample size of 200 with 200 coin tosses. Now we will switch to the tab repeatedly, a total of 2000 times in succession. Where it's intriguing is that you typically have to anticipate where we want to reach, which is that we observe the graph narrowing around our theoretical frequency. It tightens up. We always conduct simulations. This time it's based on 2000 throws. In the example, we observe 995 heads. I repeated this experiment 10 times and recorded the results. If you'd like, I can provide a closer look. Our theoretical frequency and fluctuation are now approaching the theoretical frequency. This phenomenon is known as probability, and it's crucial to comprehend. When I ask you about the chance or probability of getting heads, you will respond with 50%. Understanding probability is extremely important in this context. In reality, we are fully aware that in practical situations, it is entirely possible to obtain 7 heads out of 10 throws. Spontaneous. So where does the probability notion come from? She comes the theoretical frequency beyond a certain number of throws. So here we are at 20,000 times. You can imagine that if I had done 200,000 times, 2 million times, it would be even tighter until we reach the probability. This is the theoretical frequency. So, now you must be wondering what is the consequence in relation to sports betting and what is the logic behind it. Well, when you flip a coin, whether it lands on heads or tails, it's similar to placing a bet with odds of 2 in favor of a player, alright? And participating in a 2 odds game of tennis for a total of 20,000 times, in the long run it amounts to a profit of $0. So I'm going to explain this to you, and it's really important to understand it. It's kind of the cornerstone of this training. If you understand this key concept, then everything else will be much easier for you, and it will really seem obvious to you. You see, if you observe the present day, considering the total count of all the wagers placed in the sport of tennis, a wager on a player who would have a probability ratio of 2, that implies approximately a 50% likelihood of winning for that player. Someone who would randomly flip a coin to determine the winner between player A and player B over a number of bets, for example over 10, 20 or 30 years, or 20,000 bets of this kind or nature, parties of this nature they're at. In the end, we saw with the Excel simulation that it will approach the theoretical frequency, the probability, and 50% success rate. So 50% of these bets, out of the 20,000 bets, roughly 10,000 will be winners. He will win €2 minus the €1 bet. If we take €1 as the base, and 50% will be losers, he will lose €10,000 if it's 10,000 bets at €1 each, the starting bet. Okay? So what do we conclude here? We comprehend that if we solely rely on probability calculations and odds, it will not be adequate to secure consistent victories in the long term when it comes to sports betting. And this is the well-known concept of value bet. So, as I mentioned to you in this video training, it is not something miraculous. If you are familiar with the world of sports betting, if you are a bit experienced, if you may even be winning on certain sports, you truly and without any doubt know this concept of value bet. Yes, indeed. On this day, I am not presenting you with a miraculous or extraordinary method that defies all odds and expectations. No, I don't have a magic pill to make you win at sports betting. But what I really wanted to explain to you is this concept of value bet, which is underestimated or misunderstood by most players, at least by bettors. So, taking the example of our bet with estimated odds of 2, we can place a value bet on a bookmaker offering odds of 2.3. Over the long term, this will result in a return on investment, ROI, of 15%. Please do not panic, as I will now return to my Excel file to demonstrate this. In this particular scenario, we have a total of 200 bets, and I am currently on the 200 bets tab. We will delve into the profitability of the bet and review the conditions in more detail. It is important to note that we initially estimated the odds to be 2, while the bookmaker has set the odds at 2.3. Each time we place a €1 bet, if we lose, it is evident that we lose the €1, but if we win, we do not win just €1, instead we win €1.3. There you have the demonstration in front of your eyes on 200 bets. We lost 97 and we won 103. In the end, we have a profit of 36.9 and an EURI of 18%. So I repeated this simulation 10 times. Here is a little bit about return on investment and the fluctuation of return on investment, which can go up to 25% and go down to a minimum of 5%. Now we repeat 2,000 times, just like earlier, we will get closer to a return on investment. So here we see, even if it is not yet clear enough, that we will get closer to 15%. We will see later why 15%. We are getting closer to a 15% return on investment. Why 15% return on investment? To put it simply, our average win rate is 1 bet out of 2, and our average loss rate is also 1 bet out of 2. This means that if I place a €1 bet and lose it, and then place another €1 bet and win €1.3, which is the amount won minus the €1 bet, I will make a profit of 30 cents from a total of 2 bets. And so by placing bets, I have made a profit of 15 cents, which translates to a return on investment, ROI, of 15%. So, as you can see, it is a straightforward comparison between flipping coins, heads or tails, and the well-known concept of value betting, with the only difference being the resulting implications in terms of betting. Previously, you were thus capable of evaluating with the most relevant precision the statistics and probabilities of victory of each player. And now you must be able to compare the odds to those of the bookmakers. Therefore, if the odds are lower, in our case it was lower than 2.3 in our example, then the bet is cheap. Consequently, you end up with a higher chance of winning and a potentially greater payout if you place your bet accordingly. To come back to my example of strawberries, with the two inseparable parameters, you have the quality on one side with the calculation of probabilities and the odds, and on the other side, the aspect of price. So, if it's cheap or too expensive now, to be sure to be as pragmatic as possible, what does it concretely mean for you in practice? Well, quite simply, if you are able to identify bets with odds that you estimate to be below 1.7, you will have quality bets with calculations of each player's chances of winning beyond 70%, and if in addition you combine with a bookmaker difference that is minimal of 0.2, in our example it was 0.3, we had an estimated odds of 2 and a displayed bookmaker odds of 2.3, and well, then you can say that your bet is cheap, and as a result what happens is that in the long term, that is to say, we said here on our 20,000 bets, you will be profitable. That's really what I wanted to demonstrate to you theoretically. So the current problem you are facing now is how to estimate and determine the rating accurately. Because it's all well and good, you understand that you will have to compare your odds, your own odds, with the bookmaker's odds, and that this difference will allow you to identify a value bet or not. However, what is the most effective way to evaluate the rating? If you want, when I discuss crossing the desert, it's because I realized early on, but something bothered me on the other hand. That's what I was thinking. The value bet is nice, but the value bet is ultimately based on subjective criteria. That is to say, it's me or you who decide at a given moment to say, here's this player, he has this code. So I thought, this is not good at all. We need to be able to find a method, a cold, robotic method that ensures that we don't put any subjectivity and that it's completely objective. So this is what I'm going to reveal to you now. It's how to estimate your own odds. And when I say estimate, we'll see that ultimately it's going to be a real calculation, and simply everything is a matter of analysis. So I know what you're thinking at this point in the video. You're saying to yourself, I've watched maybe more than 30 minutes of video. He hasn't really taught me much, maybe things you already know. So one thing you need to be able to determine is the value bet by comparing the odds and looking for bets rentable in terms of value for money. But on the other hand, now I just told you that here the magic is everything is a matter of analysis. And there you go, you're going to dislike me and tell me, well, this video is rubbish and I'm stopping. No, because all the magic of this method is now located there. Now we are truly in the heart of it, where the true value lies. If in the past it was the brain with theories, now we will observe the implementation in the heart or lung of this methodology. This analysis, you will see that it will be mathematical, it will be statistical, and that's where I will highlight both my double competence as a tennis instructor to analyze the matches and statistics. So now I'm going to reveal the tool I use, and we will switch once again to an Excel file. Here is what I present to you before your eyes. It required a lot of development. It is a homemade file, so handmade. You will not find it anywhere else since I am simply the creator, therefore the inventor. On the other hand, all the concepts behind it, you will see that there is common sense, logic, and above all the link between tennis and mathematics. This tool combines my passion for tennis and my expertise in mathematics, making it a unique and valuable resource for analyzing the game. So how does this file appear? It is quite simple. It is in the format of an Excel file. Would you like to take a look? Excel is a widely known spreadsheet, which you most certainly know. Date, tournament, players, okay? That is just about one game. I remind you, we are on the bets where we determine who will win between two players. Here, we are truly in statistical indicators. We are unsure about the subjective about liking player Feliciano Lopez for his stolen service and being left-handed, so I bet on him despite not knowing his opponent. We are genuinely on a chili analysis, a robotic analysis, and you will observe how it functions. Here, I have distinguished polls, items, so at the player's level, it's the intrinsic level with the ranking, career win percentage, surface win percentage. There are confrontations, because we must not forget that we are on head-to-head, so face-to-face, so win-loss ratio over the entire career, win-loss ratio over 1 year, win-loss ratio on the surface, percentage of this 1. We are also on the aspect of player progression. So is it rather a player who is on the rise or a player on the decline? So the percentage of wins over a year, the percentage of wins over a year on the surface, the percentage of wins in the last 50 matches, the percentage of wins in the last 10 matches, to really take the pulse and therefore the news, the temperature of this player there. The state of form, well, here we are definitely on the number of matches played in the last month, the cumulative of the last matches of the current tournament to have the fatigue factor. Trend, so is it a player who is more of an outsider and wins? Is it rather a player who was the favorite who loses? So number of defeats as a favorite, number of victories as an underdog, and trust, because trust in tennis plays a huge role. And so here we are on the last match. So percentage of first serves on the last match, because it is a key indicator of the player's confidence level, percentage of points won on the first serve, and percentage of saved break points. So why am I talking to you about all this? All I wanted to show you is that all this data can easily be collected on a website. And this website is a goldmine, and it is the website that I wanted to share with you today. It is the tennisinsight.com website, so I am going to click on it and we will end up on this website. Here we are, so we end up on the tennisinsight.com website, and in fact this website allows you to have a lot of statistics on the players. Here this training session is coming to an end, so I ask you a very simple question. Are you ready to make money by betting on tennis? I have shown you everything you need to know to be profitable in the long term by betting on tennis. So take advantage of this opportunity and start earning now. You now comprehend that it is essential for you to locate captivating wagers in terms of the quality-price ratio in order to become a skilled and successful bettor. So now I deliver to you on a silver platter your action plan to be profitable in the long term by betting on tennis. First, and this was my special gift bonus for you, you will be able to download the Excel file. So the Excel file I mentioned earlier, you will be able to download it just below in the description of this video. Secondly, you need to register on Tennis Insight. After that, in the software, the Excel file is designed in such a way that once you have filled it with the weights, it will automatically calculate the score for you. And so now you must first detect quality bets. So these bets, let's say they are odds between 1.4 and 1.7. I am referring to the ribs for the tool for the Excel file. And these are not the odds you take from the bookmaker, since you will compare with the bookmakers on the classic odds comparison site, and you will take a minimum difference of 0.2. And well, there I can assure you that you will be profitable in the long term. So here's what you need to do now. In this video, you need to get a bonus gift. The Excel file I told you about in this video. So the famous odds calculator and the search for value bets. You just have to click just below this video. You will arrive on a page and claim your exclusive offer, on which you will simply enter your email and I will send you the Excel file to your valid email address. So this Excel file will be usable by you in any case. You will also receive updates when I make small adjustments, especially for the weights or improvements of the Excel file. So please do not hesitate to take advantage of this convenient service. Without any delay, click on the link immediately, enter your valid email address, and you will promptly receive this Excel file in your inbox without any further delay or complications. However, in any case, I am thrilled to have been able to provide you all with my condensed experience of these 6 years in the realm of sports betting, specifically on tennis. So, you can also perhaps probably wonder what are the outcomes and findings of such a methodological approach. Well, I will explain everything while following the link anyway. I will regularly upload a video on this YouTube channel to discuss the profitability of this tool. Thank you for listening, and to show my gratitude, please download as a bonus the odds calculator and the value bet search. That is truly what will enable you to achieve long-term success by betting on tennis. Looking forward to connecting with you again soon.